This is the Leo Climaco Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Leo Climaco Podcast. I'm your host, Leo. Today's guest is an entrepreneur. He's the creator of a faceless freedom. He's helped over 400 students create a YouTube channel without having to make the video themselves. Freud Vixamar, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Let's start out by getting to know you a little bit. What's your background? Where you're from? Let's start there.
Yeah, so by the way, thank you for the intro. As I said before, this is my second podcast. That's the most powerful intro I ever had.
I appreciate that.
So
hey, you did it. I'm just repeating what you've done. It's your success.
Thank you. My name is Freud Vixamar. Originally, I'm from Haiti. I won't go too deep. Come to the state in 2010, and I was after the first major earthquake that happened in Haiti. Came to Florida, of course, and grew up in Orlando. Now I live in Miami. I moved to Miami about 2 years ago and got started, as you said before, started what I call Faceless Freedom, which is right now, I call it a boutique media company.
Okay.
Where we specialize more in YouTube automation specifically. And I've been doing that for the past 6 years now, about to go into 7 years.
6 years, okay.
Yeah. For about 6 years, about to go into 7 years now.
How many channels do you have?
So in current time, personally for myself, I have about 10 channels, and we manage within Faceless Freedom in total, because we have also a done-for-you package. We manage a bunch of channels for investors. We have over about 120 channels right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So you have 130 total, right? 10 your own and plus 120. Or is that 120 including your 10?
Over 130 counting my 10.
Counting your 10.
Yeah.
That is incredible. You know, I actually recently, maybe like five months ago, I bought into a program like yours, just like yours, from what's his name? It escapes me. It'll come to me. He's pretty popular online.
Roz,
No,
David Amari.
He's Asian.
Paul Hills.
No.
He's Asian?
Asian. I think he's like Filipino or Indonesian.
Paul Hills is he very famous on Instagram?
No, he's more YouTube famous. He makes like controversial videos about Nestle and things like that.
Oh, Jake Trent?
Jake Trent. Yeah. That's him. I bought a course from him maybe 5 months ago. It cost me about $500.
Oh, okay.
And it was a 6-week program on how to do just this, how to create your own faceless YouTube channel.
Nice.
And I thought it was really good, but I didn't do shit. I just bought the course, I took it, and I didn't take one step of action. Just because I want to, but I think I'm so busy, my schedule is so busy that I haven't found the right time to do it. I haven't made it a priority. It's really what it is. Right. How did you make it a priority? How did you start your first channel? How did that come to be?
Yeah, so I started when I was around 16 going into 17 years old.
How old are you?
I'm 23 right now.
You're 20. You're such a baby. You're 20 plus you.
I guess depending on who you ask.
You are 23. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, compared to you, I'm an old man. I'm almost 40.
Oh, that's not that old.
Okay, so 16.
Yeah.
What made you want to start a YouTube channel at 16? Was it everyone's doing it? Let's give it a try. This thing's cool.
So originally, obviously at 16, you have the rise of like Jake Paul was still like very popular, and Logan Paul.
Yes.
And as a teenager, you know you could make money on YouTube because you're seeing like those different teenagers that are making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I never got into YouTube because I knew that I was never a Jake Paul. And back then I was a very introverted kid. So I'm like, I could never be a YouTuber. Like, this is beyond me.
Right, because you thought you had to put your face in it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Got it.
So at 16, originally when I turned 15, in Florida, that's like the legal age where you can get a part-time job.
Right.
So
you could drive too, right? At 15, I think.
Exactly. You can get your permit at 15.
Yeah.
So during 15, initially I was trying to get a job. I was looking for a job. And at that same time, I was a sophomore in high school, and my parent wanted me to start looking for either trying to get a scholarship or what college that I want to go, what I want to do after high school, because I only have about 2 years left.
Right.
So basically, I started searching online different things that I can do after high school, and at the same time, I was searching for a job because I didn't have any scholarship. And quite frankly, honest with you, I didn't see myself getting any scholarship. During that time when I was in high school, when I first came to the state, I was a very good kid. But then when I got to high school, I wasn't dumb, but school it just wasn't my thing. And initially what ended up happening, I would go to school and I'll go to sleep sometime in school. And what I would do is when we have homework, for example, I'll go home and watch TV. And then the next day the homework is due, I'll cover the kid next to me and turn in the homework. So that was kind of like my life in repeat. So I
Just
didn't.
know that was pretty good. My high school days were much worse. I was kicked out my junior year
Oh man.
for having 181 cuts. I wasn't there. I didn't go the whole year. I used to go to school and go hang out in front of the school and go
Right.
do stupid shit. Go do drugs, go sell drugs. Like that was me at like 16, 17.
Oh, okay. If you don't mind me asking, what's your race?
I'm
Nationality?
Brazilian.
Brazilian?
Yeah, I was born in Brazil, moved to New York when I was 7 years old, lived in New York for 25 years. Now I've been in Florida for 4 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And the reason I asked that because even though I was going to school, I tried to keep at least a C. Because anybody that is Haitian knows immigrant. Like you come home with an F or D, you're gonna get whooping. So I wanted to avoid whooping, but I hated school. So that's why I always
Same, I hated
cheat
school.
my way toward high school,
Mhm.
basically, just to keep at least a decently good grade.
In college, I paid this kid to log into my computer and do my math test for me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I feel you. I hated school as well. I hated doing anything to do with school. The structure just wasn't for me. It kept me in a box. I couldn't think outside the box.
Exactly.
I'm a very outside the box thinker. And I can tell you that everything that I learned, because eventually I became a tech. I became an IT guy.
right.
I was an IT director for, 13, 15 years of my life. And I did that without school. I got certifications, online certifications. I went to trade schools. I went to courses, it's still learning, but it's not, a traditional
Yeah.
school way of learning. And getting all these certifications paved the path for me that school could never have, So it's really not for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I could imagine you're in high school, frustrated, school sucks, you hate it. There's this shiny thing online called YouTube, and everyone's making money on it.
Exactly.
So you said, let's figure this out. How did you figure out that you can have a channel and not have to put your face?
So originally it wasn't more toward YouTube. I was about to approach. I got to 16 and I applied for Taco Bell. It was one of my first interview that I ever applied for, and I didn't get approved. And I remember I went to the interview. I dressed pretty well, answered question pretty well. And
Why
I'm
Taco
like,
Bell?
it was the first job that I saw
That was
on
hiring.
Google. On Google that I saw in my nearest area. So I applied to a lot of them, but that was the one that called me in.
Yes, yes.
And I'm like, there's no way I'm not gonna get this job. This is literally just you're gonna be a cashier or flipping burger. I'm like, this is very easy.
Right.
And I remember I got the email saying that you unfortunately won't qualify. And when I was in high school, I grew up a Christian, so I was also going to church. I was also a church musician. So I remember
What instrument?
I played trombone. I also play the drum. I also play the keys.
Okay, so
I'm very
you're very versatile in music. That's very cool.
Yeah, and my main instrument that I used to play at the church was the bass guitar.
Wow.
So like when I was in high school, I was in jazz band.
Yeah.
Since middle school, I joined band and I fell in love with music.
Very cool. Were you ever in a band?
Not
Outside of
besides school
church?
band, no.
Yeah, no.
No. It was something I like to do for fun, but I never wanted to do it professionally.
Okay.
Music was just something I like to do for fun. I like to play in church.
You could do a band for fun,
Yeah.
Bands get together for fun. They play in bars. They, they fuck around and they.
Yeah, but I looked into it. You're not really making that much money.
No, you're not.
Unless you're a big musician.
If you're doing that, it's not about the money. It's because you love the passion of music, right?
Yeah,
And the
exactly.
camaraderie of your friends and you guys playing together and jamming. That's what it's about.
Exactly. But And I remember I was at church at that time, and I was got the email, and I'm like, damn, I need a job. I always remember that was what I said.
Mm.
And a friend of mine, he was the maestro for the band, and he was a very low key guy. And at that time, he was doing e-commerce, and it was like, bro, you don't really need a job. And at that time, he was doing 7-figure with e-commerce.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, he's like one of the OG guy. He used to have a channel with 80,000 subscribers, and I would never know this because he would come to our church and he's like a very low key person. He said, "You can come to my house and I can show you what I do." And I started going to his house and I got familiar with what Shopify is and the whole space of make money online. Uh, I knew obviously you could make money on YouTube, but that didn't come till after.
What was he selling?
He was, I don't remember the exact product that he was selling. He was selling a bunch of different stuff. He owned like a bunch of different e-commerce store. Up to
And he was
date right
profitable,
now,
making money.
yeah, he was profitable. Up to date right now, I don't think he's doing e-commerce. He's more into like crypto investing, crypto trading, and things like that. And I remember the first time I went to his house, I've never been to his house before. And I grew up, anybody that live in the Orlando area know what the Reunion community look like. It's one of the most high-end community in like the Kissimmee near Disney area. Les Brown stay there. A bunch of people that have a name for themselves have a house over there.
Got it.
And he lived around that area. And I remember I went to his place and there was a massive gate and they have to ask me what is my name. They called him and I went in. That was probably my first time being in a very fancy neighborhood. And at first when he said, yeah, I do stuff online, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I might as well see what this guy's doing. And then I'm like, okay, this guy must be doing something serious. And I went to his place. I'm like, this is a very beautiful place. And then he started showing me his stores, what he was doing. And he's like, all you have to do, you build a store. And of course, you're going to start running Facebook ad. And this was back in close to 2016, 15. Shopify was almost on the verge, but it wasn't as saturated as it was. And I realized I did needed money to start. So I asked my mom for $500. I sold my mom the idea. I'm like, he's doing it. Kid is doing this. This can make me a millionaire. And I want to be able to do it. So she gave me $500 and that was the ad budget that I had. With the 500, about 100 going to building the store. And the rest of the 400 went into advertising to Facebook. And at that time, I was trying to sell a Haitian necklace. So basically jewelry. And I sold one necklace for $21 after I spent the whole ad money. Obviously, I was not aware that you have to warm up the ad account. You have to split test and see what works and what doesn't work. And by then I didn't have any money. And I couldn't get any more money from my mom.
But the idea was there because you made a sale.
The idea was there.
Yeah.
And funny thing, when I made that sale, even though I didn't profit anything, but in my mind, I was like, this is actually real. Because obviously anybody that have made at least some smaller change online, when you make the first money, it's like that hope, like this is actually real.
What do you think your friend saw in you that made him plug you in?
He always told me that because we go to a Haitian church and he's like, there's a lot of the Haitian community, obviously, that have different mindset. And I wanted to.
Because what a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
To really to really connect you, to really teach you and show you what he's doing.
He is. Yeah, he is. Every time I look back, I always thank him. But I asked him that question. There's a lot of people that have gone through the church, pass and go. And he was always open to teaching people. And he's like, I've always wanted to share this with the Haitian community because what our mentality is, especially when I came to the state, is you go to school, you get a good grade. And my parent wanted me to either become a doctor, teacher, a lawyer, or engineer, which is a high paying job. That was what it looked like. That's what success looked like. And he said, I wanted to.
That's what every parent wants, right?
Yeah.
Either a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. That's what everyone says. And so these parents
Exactly.
are not creative.
Exactly. And when he was telling me that, because one thing I realized that's all that they know.
Right.
And it's not their fault.
100%.
So he told me that because even the church, he was a minister at the church. And he'll barely teach about that because sometimes when people know what they know, they stuck at a box where they're not open to other possibility.
Right.
And he was like, there's a couple of people that he invited to his house, but a few come, but a few just give up. And he's like, you were just another one of the few. And it just happened to be me. I just kept persisting. And I remember when I ran out of money for ad, one of the good thing I looked back into, because I remember he was making so much money. And I was saying to myself during that point, I'm like, I wanted to ask him for money, but I didn't.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, bro, I spent all the money that my mom was able to give me. He's like, okay. And I remember at that time he was doing other stuff with affiliate marketing and things like that. He's like, you can test this out. It doesn't require for you to put money into it. So I went into doing affiliate marketing, and that's when I had my first YouTube experience. He already had a YouTube channel with 80,000 subscribers at that time, and he was promoting. He just does online content, like entrepreneurship content.
What's his name?
Keda Cormier. Yeah. I think right now he have about 80,000 subscribers. He haven't been too consistent with his channel, but he was just doing Shopify content, he was doing affiliate marketing content, and he was promoting this policy called MCA. There was a lot of people that were doing it. He was making $5,000 a week in profit from promoting that product, and he's like, all I do is I just promote MCA on my YouTube channel, and I make $5,000 a week from doing it. And obviously, when people join it,
$5,000 a week.
Yeah.
Because people were buying the product, or was just his rate for promoting that product?
So basically, MCA is when you promote MCA and somebody buy into it. And usually it's like...
What's MCA? What is that?
It's like a policy. It's like an insurance. It's like a roadside assistant policy.
Got it.
So when people... It's a monthly subscription. So obviously MCA pay you as they paying them. So you kind of have that residual income coming in.
Got it.
From people you referred a while back.
Got it. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. So some people also leverage it as a make money on an opportunity because you can refer a couple people into it and you still have that residual income.
That's so crazy.
Exactly. So I went into doing exactly what he was doing. I got over my fear of getting on camera. I did a couple of videos, talk about MCA. And I remember I saw the channel. I did a video on it. And I had one person that went and actually got the policy. And I remember I made $100 with affiliate marketing. And next week it was $0. The next day it was $0. And at that time, I'm still online. I started seeing a lot more Shopify video. And once I started seeing a lot more Shopify video, I started seeing the term make money online more in different businesses. That's when I discovered like trading, people who does like Forex and things like that.
Right.
And I tested eBay drop shipping, and I also did Instagram theme page. I did social media marketing agency. And because those doesn't require for me to pay any money. So I was going to doctors saying, hey, let me grow your Instagram for you and things like that. And I was also working on theme page on Instagram where people would ask me for a shout out.
Were you doing the work yourself, or were you outsourcing
All of it
that
myself.
work?
All of that myself.
All of it yourself.
Because I didn't have any money. So I was looking for what way can I make money online without having to spend money.
And did you know how to do all those things, or you just
Googling
it as you were going, like YouTubing it as you were going along?
YouTube videos. I was just watching a bunch of YouTube videos how to make money online. I was just testing a bunch of different methods.
Very interesting.
At that time, I was approaching, because I knew that if I didn't find something, and the fact that as I was watching those videos, I saw people that was making 6, 7 figure, 8 figure online, and I was seeing 16 years old driving Ferrari, Lamborghini. I'm like, I know it's possible. And after seeing like stuff like that, I'm somebody, when I see the potential, I don't want to give up on it. After seeing that, I can't imagine going to college and doing high school part 2, which I already hate. And I even know what I wanted to do in college. So what I basically did is I kept testing, and then I came across a video talking about how can you make money on YouTube without showing your face or making video. And it was a video from Jordan Mackey. At that time, he showed his earning for the month, $30,000. And I remember he was doing this on his personal channel. He showed the earning. He was like, guys, not from this channel. The channel at that time had less than 5,000 subscribers, so it wasn't earning money that much. So he's like, these are faceless channel that I run, and I do this and I do that. So I did more research, dig into it. I spent 6 months, started like 7 channels because I was experimenting, testing different things, different niches. And after 6 months, one of the channel went viral. And I remember the first paycheck I received from YouTube after 6 months was $1,200. And it went straight to my bank account, direct deposit. And I went into Chase. I took out the money in the ATM and I put it back in because I couldn't believe it was real. So I just wanted to make sure it was actually in my account.
That's so funny.
And I put it back in. And from there, it was obviously, I got more into the game. Oh, you were hooked. Yeah, I got more into the game. And that's how I can name almost anybody that there is. I've studied every single person that was doing it. I knew about Jake Trent. Believe it or not, me and Jake Trent, we took the same course when he was getting started, when he was starting his channel. I was already in the game.
Really?
From Graham Stephan, because I was learning from every single big YouTubers. I've watched every single Mr. Beast interview, because I'm like, I need to master this to be able to actually do it efficiently or be one of the best that's doing it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Master. So my YouTube channel has like 230 subscribers. Help me. How the fuck do I grow this channel?
So number one, obviously you're doing a podcast, and I'm guessing the main topic of the podcast is more toward entrepreneurship and business.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. I was speaking to Rich earlier, and we are talking about Diary of the CEO. So if you look at like the most
Love
biggest
that guy.
podcaster, like Diary of the CEO, you have Joe Rogan.
Yep.
A lot of those people, they're targeting the mass. And the only reason they're able to grow their podcast is by having big names.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, if you have anybody that already have search volume on YouTube, people are already searching for them, they already know them. You're
Working on those big names. Working on those big names.
Exactly.
I think the deeper I go into podcasting,
Mm-hmm.
my guests get like more and more,
Higher and
higher
higher.
level. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
So it's getting there, but it's it's a slow walk.
Exactly, it is. It's a process. And at the same time, because I came across Diary of a CEO last month, I watched their first video because it just keeps showing on my feed. So I clicked on the video.
Yeah.
The only reason I clicked on the video is because it got my attention and it called me out. So I clicked on the video and I watched the video. It was a very good podcast. And I watched another podcast in his channel because I like the podcast.
Right.
And I'm somebody that I've watched a couple of podcasts, but it's usually people that I know, I'm familiar with.
Right.
And they've already, I know they're in their 30s at whatever that they do. So I was letting him know, obviously, there's a couple of things that is needed to become successful on YouTube. There's 3 things that I can dial it down. There's a lot of things, but there's 3 things mainly. And obviously the first one is creativity. And that there's a lot of level to it specifically.
Right.
When you look at stuff like Diary of CEO, and even, let me take Mr. Beast as an example, since he's one of the most successful YouTubers. And I watch his podcast, Diary of CEO, and I've watched the whole thing because it's very rarely me. I'll sit down and watch a 1-hour podcast, and I actually put it on my TV. Let
Right.
alone, usually I'll put them in the background and I'm listening, I'm doing something else.
Same.
But that one, I actually sat down and watched it. And every time I watch something for that long on YouTube, I'm like, why did I just watch that? And number one, obviously, it kept my attention because people have very short attention span.
Yes. It was
So,
entertaining.
It was entertaining. From the littlest thing is the zooming in, the zooming out, the music, the intro, even the question that is being asked. It was just speaking to me. And that specific podcast, because I wouldn't watch all his podcasts. I think naturally, even if you have people that subscribe to your channel, they're not going to watch all your podcasts.
Right. No one does.
Yeah,
I don't watch every Joe Rogan podcast.
exactly.
Just the people that I want to see.
Exactly.
Right.
And for example, if I say, can you remember one of Joe Rogan podcasts that you actually watch? What was the guest?
Yes.
Who was the guest?
Yes. The one with Terrence Howard.
And what was he talking about? What was
I
like the
sat and watched the whole pod. He was talking about how he has discovered a new form to view science and how scientists have been doing science wrong for over 500 years, how there is no straight line, everything is curves. And he's going deep into his theory and his methodology of his science of how the universe works.
Okay. And the reason I asked that question is especially what I've seen with podcasts that have gone viral, where they barely have any name for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the easiest way of podcasts to go viral, when you look at any viral podcast, even look at CEO of Diary, even Fresh and Fit, which I've seen their rise, is whenever they had a specific guest where everybody was searching for it. But with my channel, we more tailored toward trend and what people actually want to watch because it's faceless, so we can easily be,
Right.
we can make a video on Jordan Peterson about Jordan Peterson because it's faceless. We don't have to have him on the show. So basically, creativity part is the video have to speak to, especially with the podcast when you submit, it have to speak to the audience.
Yes. And
I remember that video of Diary of CEO. The only reason I clicked on it wasn't even about business, to be quite honest. It was about a divorce lawyer. How I forgot what the title said, but it grabbed my attention. The only reason I remember psychologically I thought about why I clicked on it, because I don't watch this video, is because I have a girlfriend and I'm thinking about getting long-term with her. And before that, as a guy, I was never thinking about anything long-term with any woman. So it grabbed my attention by the title because I was like very curious of what he had to say.
Got it.
And I didn't even know the guy. He didn't have a name for himself, but I still clicked on the channel and watched it. And obviously the creativity part and that's very easy to identify by watching who are the biggest guy in the space and what are they doing. From the tiniest thing is the editing. Mr. B said in multiple different interview that there's every single second, every single word that he said is scripted out and it's planned. And psychologically, Mr. Beast have multiple different people that work with him within his team. Psychologically, every single video they try to evoke a certain emotion on the audience.
That makes sense.
Have you ever watched any Mr. Beast content?
Oh, tons.
So every single part of the video, there's gonna be a part that make almost obviously you probably won't cry, that want to make you cry.
Yes, I have cried. I'm not gonna lie.
Or have cried.
I've watched Mr. Beast's video and shed a tear.
Have cried. And it's not by accident. It's planned for every single video.
That makes sense.
That evoke empathy, of course, make you smile, and at the same time, put you at the edge of your seat too. So where you're like worried, and even though you're not the contestant in Mr. Beast's video, when you hear that, hey, I have this person that I want to take care of, and I'm playing on this Mr. Beast video because I want to take care of my grandfather that's in the hospital, and you feel sad. And they got to the point, because there's multiple contestants, they lose, and Mr. Beast have allowed them to share their story because it's purposely done, and you feel very sad for that person. And sometimes you might even be worried while they're playing because they just fell and they just lost. And obviously, Mr. Beast give them at least something. Every single person that go into his game, he give them something, even though they didn't win. Even if they didn't win the $500,000 or $1 million cash prize. So it's all psychologically done. It's the same thing that I've noticed with like that podcast that I watch. Even the host even cried. Not the host, and also the guy he was interviewing.
Right.
Even cried on the podcast. So even the tonality of how you speak, how you slow down your voice in certain parts, how you relate to the guest, because it also relates to the flow. It also relates to the audience that is listening to at the same time. And those are all tied into creativity, but you just have to notice that in the little detail on the podcast. And the second C is obviously consistency. Now, everybody know that. If you have to be consistent with what you're doing. But like I said, you have to have the right strategy. Similar to Mr. Beast, eventually, Mr. Beast, however, hundreds of thousands of videos, or thousands of videos on his channel. Well, a lot of people don't know that if you go back, there was a young kid in his little room doing random weird video, could barely talk to the camera doing video. And he was very consistent throughout the last over 15 years of doing YouTube. But people would just see that part. And it took him 6 years to get monetized on YouTube, to just reach 1,000 subscribers. 6 years. But most people don't see that. So obviously the consistency
have the patience or discipline to wait out 6 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I would say it took him, obviously it doesn't have to take you 6 years, but he was just a kid. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know he was going to be who he is today.
Correct.
So he was just doing video. The thing about him is he was just doing it because he liked to do it. So that played in his favor. So it didn't seem like consistency for him. It just seems like I'm doing a random YouTube video.
My favorite Mr. Beast interview that I've watched, I actually just talking to Mike about this earlier today. Mm-hmm. He was saying that the first 100 YouTube episodes, all you should care about is making the next video 1% better than the previous video.
Wow, I like that.
Just 1%, make every video 1% better, 1% better, 1% better. And by 100 videos, you're 100% better because you've made 1% increment changes over 100 videos.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Me too. You know, and that's really a great way to look at it, you know? Just make minor tweaks.
Exactly.
You know? If you go to my channel, we're in episode 54, but the difference in episode 1 to episode 54 is completely different. You know, the studio has matured. You know, I have matured. You know, I've gotten more comfortable. I've gotten, you know, more better questions, deeper questions, better flow, better control of the conversation, you know? And that's what it's about. It's about the journey, not really the destination. Right? When you get there, great, you got there. But enjoy the journey of while you're getting there. Enjoy the building process.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So it seems like, how important are thumbnails and things like that? These minute little details like description and thumbnails. How important are all these things?
Not as important as people actually think it is. Back then it used to. if you use like there's certain tools like vidIQ and things like that where you can actually see the channel tags and video tags.
Mm-hmm.
And these days you're gonna notice a lot more video that go viral
Yeah.
without having any tags or little to no description. I have video that go viral without having any tags and description. The algorithm is getting a lot more smarter, and obviously Google on YouTube, and they
Right.
have the most data in the world on every single 2 billion active user on the YouTube platform. So as soon as you upload your video, they do know what your video is about because they can transcribe it, and they'll know who to promote the video to.
I see.
The biggest and only factor I tell people that YouTube look for is watch time. That's like watch time is king.
Right.
And the goal of YouTube, as every social media platform, is to keep the viewer on the platform for as long as possible, because obviously they make as much money as possible from the ad revenue. So basically, any video that have a high, what they call view duration, when you have a 30 to 40% view duration, you have a higher chance of the video going viral. Believe it or not. That's why any viral video on social media is not by accident. Like the algorithm don't make any mistake.
What defines a viral video? Is there a certain number of views or likes or counts that makes it, you know what I mean? Like is 50,000 views viral? Is, you know, like what's considered viral?
So it depends. That's a very good question. I tell people viral is what is the average view that you get on your channel right now and time it by 10. For me, that's my definition of viral. It stands out from every other video on your channel.
Okay. So I've had one reel go viral.
How many views?
Over 250,000.
Okay.
And I usually get like, I don't know, a couple hundred.
So about like 200-300 if you do the average.
Yeah.
Okay, so viral for you is anywhere from time that by 10. That's over. I'm terrible at math. What is it?
Me too.
Either 2,000 or 20,000.
I told you I paid someone to take my math test.
So anything over 2,000 is viral for.
Oh,
you.
so I got tons of videos that gone viral, if that's true.
Yeah. But obviously there's, video I get over 100,000 views from there. That's actually pretty good. But all this video, if it's on YouTube, you notice that if you look at those video compared to the other video, you see that they have a higher view duration compared to the one that didn't go viral.
Your 10 channels, what are they? Like, what are they on?
Yeah.
What's the topic of them?
So I have a couple channels in the news space. We cover different news that are happening with the economy. I have 4 channels in that specific space. And
Are you talking about these news channels like I've seen, like China news, and they talk about, and it's like a random dude giving news about China and things going on in China?
So let me show you one of them. This is one. You can look at the content. I optimize more for what people want to watch.
Got it.
So one of our channel, we just talk about
What's this channel called?
Woke Busters.
Woke Busters.
And then we started that channel 3 months ago, believe it or not. And we already generated about $30,000 with it.
That's crazy.
And that one we're covering woke content.
Yeah, I see it.
Because people love to watch this type of stuff.
Good for you.
We have a channel called The Lenses Report. We cover more content that is toward economy gloom. So people love to watch a bad news more than the good news.
1 million views on this on this episode.
Yeah.
This is the one with Jon Stewart shuts down MSNBC. People love that shit.
So, see, I'm
Good
using
for you, Freud.
somebody that have a name for themselves.
Wow.
And that's why it's easy for us to grow this channel, because we already
yeah.
use people that already have a name people are searching for.
So that video
Mhm.
is about a clip of a video, basically, right?
Exactly.
It's a video about a clip that you basically compiled in a nice little package, and you're giving the information in a different way. It's a different way to digest the information with your opinions and your views on top of it.
Exactly. It's the exact same thing that CNN, ABC News does.
Yes.
They report on different news that are happening around the world.
Correct.
Nothing different. With our channel, we have a voiceover, so our anchor is like CNN. But obviously, I don't show my face, so we use
That's
AI
incredible.
to be the character of the channels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. How much does it cost to start a channel if you've never done one before? How much do you think it's going to cost someone if they're doing everything like you were? average?
So that's a great question. The reason I started with Faceless channel is if you have money, it's better, of course, but you don't need to have money. I started when I was 16 and I went into it because but you have to learn how to edit the content.
Right.
You have to learn how to make the thumbnail. You have to learn how to write the script. And at that time, you didn't really need to have a voice, but today's it works better if you actually have a voiceover.
You have AI
And
today.
We have AI today.
ChatGPT
which
can
we
do
didn't have
all of
before.
those things for you that you just described.
Exactly. So I tell people it's easier now than it was for me before.
Yes.
Because what I was doing before is you can't just copy and paste article, of course, to be your script. Because believe it or not, YouTube would actually pick that up.
I think for you right now, it must feel incredible because when you learned all this, you actually had to learn it and do it yourself. Now you have all this knowledge and you could use AI to do everything for you. And you know exactly what to do.
Exactly.
It's like right fucking timing. Like you scaled and the technology scaled with you at the right time.
Exactly.
Lucky motherfucker. Look at you.
Yeah, and at that time I didn't see it like that. But I didn't see because when you're doing the work, when you're not making money yet, and you're also building a skill set, right? If you start a podcast, your first episode, you might not make any money from it, you might not get any view, but you're building the habit of
for sure
interviewing somebody effectively.
Yeah.
So you're building that skill set to be able to do it effectively. But yeah, with AI, it becomes a lot more easier. Even now, there's like Mid-Journey that generate a whole image for you, whatever you want it to generate for you. So the world is changing. Stuff are becoming easier, but a lot more competitive too.
Yes.
So
I can't wait until Google merges like Gemini and YouTube. Their AI, Gemini.
Yeah.
Because they haven't quite married the two just yet. They maybe have in the back end, but not in the front end. I really want to see what that's going to be.
The next couple of year or two is going to be very massive.
Yeah.
Even with the growth of ChatGPT. And not only that, one thing now, if you're uploading a video on YouTube, because of Sora, which is promising to be the next big thing from huge. Text to video.
Yes.
And that's massive because it will literally have me fire my whole team of freelancers doing my videos.
Crazy.
So it's insane if that actually can be done because that's going to save me a lot of money, make me a lot more also with what I'm doing. So now when you're uploading a video on YouTube, it say, is this AI? Does it have any AI generated image?
Yes.
Because now
you have to check it off, right?
Exactly. You have to check it off. Because there's now people, you might watch a video, you don't know if it's actually Trump saying what Trump is saying.
Right.
Yeah.
That's important.
It is.
Because I mean, before AI, we already live in the world of fake news.
Exactly.
You know, now you want to add AI to the mix. I was looking at a post on Instagram, and they were showing the new Pixel 9, the new Google Pixel 9, the phone.
Right.
It comes with built-in AI from Google called Gemini, and it's able to generate its own photos. These photos are ridiculous. You can't tell that it's fake. Like, they show the comparison. They took an actual photo of a street, and they said, Gemini, add a car crash to this photo. And they did. And it looks perfectly beautiful. And you can't tell that was an AI-generated photo.
Exactly.
It's insane.
Yeah. I guess there's the good and the bad of everything.
For sure.
You might go to court, they say you did this crime, you're like, this is AI, it's not me.
We're going to get there. I guarantee you there will be the first AI case one day.
Exactly.
Man, that's incredible. That really is. Okay. I'm going to go into your finances now because I want to know how much money you've made. I want to know exactly what you've made till this day and what is the average amount of money that your videos make per month? What's the average that you're making per month on a video?
So
if you don't mind sharing.
Oh yeah. It's more toward for the channel side. I earn anywhere from 30,000 to 6,000 a monthly basis.
From 30 to 60,000 a month
from YouTube revenue.
This is from all 10 channels.
For all 10 channels.
Got it. Good for you.
Now, basically, you get paid. It's more per channel than the video because videos they go viral and then they go down.
Okay.
Or they can just become stagnant. So
how does YouTube pay you?
It's as simple as the thing about YouTube compared to our platform, because YouTube is free. Yeah, they have YouTube Premium, but they didn't have that until a couple years ago.
Right.
But YouTube, Facebook, TikTok is free, but they were building out of company. And their main source of revenue is advertiser.
Right.
People who run ad on this platform. The good thing about YouTube, the smart thing that they did compared to other platforms is they're like, you know what? It's the people that make the platform the platform. So the people come because of the creator. So let's reward the creator so that way we can get more creators and they can make money to at the same time make a living off YouTube.
Got it.
So now if you go to YouTube and advertise on YouTube, you pay Google to show your ad on YouTube, and they're going to put your ad in front of a video. And now whoever owned that channel, they share a 55% cut with that creator. So the creator gets 55% and YouTube keep 45.
Okay.
So let's say I saw the ad and I clicked on the channel and I'm one person. Let's say for the sake of math, I'm worth $1 from seeing that ad.
Okay.
So because I click on the ad, even if I skip the ad too, YouTube take that $1 from the advertiser and they give the owner of the channel the 55 cents and they keep 45 cents.
Got it.
So now as you're getting views racking up, they're seeing multiple different ads. That's how you have, people like Ryan Torrey, which is 12 years old, unboxing toy on YouTube, making $30 million a year from ad revenue.
That's crazy.
From YouTube.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Putting your kid out there on YouTube at a young age? Because I have 2 kids. So
right.
I've thought about that. I have a 4-year-old and I have a 2-year-old. And my 4-year-old, he'd probably kill it on YouTube. But as a parent, I don't want that for my kid.
That makes sense.
What do you think about that?
I wish I could put myself in your shoes because I don't have a kid. And when I look at Ryan Torrey, because I did a case study on him, his parents just recorded him for fun, right? He just loved doing, and some kid are just love being on camera naturally. Yeah. There's some kids I have little siblings and they love like doing like TikTok. They're not really on TikTok, but they like acting like the influencers. So Ryan was just reviewing toys, and obviously kids are on YouTube also because they're also an audience and they like watching other kids play with toys.
For sure. My kid's watching probably right now.
They're probably watching him also.
Yes. So
I guess if you're the parent, you're managing everything, you're supervising everything, and they're not, really having control, because Ryan is obviously not, touching those millions himself. It's a parent. He probably doesn't even know he's making that much money.
No. He's 12.
Yeah,
right?
he's 12. He's 12 years old.
The parents are swimming in it.
Yeah, basically. And he have a deal with Nickelodeon. I've also seen his face had a specific product at Walmart. So, and that's the parent choice, because obviously once you build that big
now
of a brand,
they made a business about,
Yeah, now his name is the whole business.
Right. His face, right?
Yeah, his face is the whole business. So
crazy.
he's set for life without even knowing it. So I guess it's up for the parent, right? To be able to make that decision.
So I don't want you to give away your whole sauce, but if you can give me an overview of like a couple of steps that people can do to start their own channel, their own faceless channel, what would it be?
So the first step is picking a niche. What is your channel going to be about? And usually for a faceless channel, similar to this podcast, you have to pick a niche.
Right.
Like I said, the only people that goes big without having a specific niche are usually like podcasts that have a big name. They get a lot of big people on their podcasts, and similar to faceless channel. And at the same time, when you look at even Mr. Beast, one of the reasons that it took him 6 years, because he was just doing random content all over the place. They never had a specific thing. Now, Mr. Beast have a brand that's a giving brand, a charity brand. And that's what people relate to right now. If Mr. Beast start doing content of him flexing, and that's why purposely I really believe Mr. Beast have a lifestyle purposely constructed his lifestyle for a reason. Yeah. Because people see him as this very charitable guy. If Mr. Beast get a Lambo that he bought for himself, like he drive on a daily basis, I promise you some of his audience will feel some type of way.
I agree.
But so
Mr. Beast, get a Lambo if you want one, please, because you deserve it.
Yeah. But first is picking the niche. What is the channel going to be about? For a faceless channel, it could be about health, could be about a specific sport. It
Cars,
could be
whatever.
toward news, car, technology.
Politics,
Exactly.
whatever.
It just has to be something that there's a massive audience for.
Right.
And the second step is obviously you create the logo, the brand. That's the easy part. The second step is building a team, or you're gonna be doing the content. So usually we build the team. We find number one, a writer to write the script and do the research for us, and number two, an editor. So once the writer writes the script, we put it onto 11 Lab, which is an AI voiceover that read it for us, and the editor actually handle that part. And then the editor get that AI voiceover and then edit the footage over it. So if the video is about Jordan Peterson, he'll find the clip of Jordan Peterson, the pictures of Jordan Peterson.
The AI.
Yeah, and compile them together.
What software is this?
11 Lab.
11 Lab.
Yeah. It's one of the best, at the time we're making this podcast, the best AI software out there. A lot of AI that you're going to see around the internet are using 11 Lab. It even it's the software that have the feature of cloning people's voices.
Wow.
So I can take a minute of your voice and I can get a perfect clone of your voice where I can make you say anything most people that even know you personally would not even think that, it's AI.
That's incredible.
So it's whoever made it, they've perfected it. And they're always updating it too at the same time. And it's very cheap. It was $11 I know it's $11 a month. I think it's about $22 a month right now. But they have a $5 subscription every single month. So AI is not just becoming global, it's also becoming cheaper and cheaper.
Right.
Back then, I've went into the concept of the AI voice like over 2 to 3 years ago, but the software was like $200 to $300 a month.
Oof.
And if you want cloning feature, you have to do a custom thing where you have to send them a request in the voice. But now there's softwares that are coming out of nowhere that are doing this, and they're charging just $5 a month or $10 a month to be able to do that.
We live in a crazy time.
It is. So, and the last part is a thumbnail designer that create the thumbnail for you. So you have a writer, an editor, and a thumbnail designer that's going to make the video for you and do the research and upload it for you. Now, if you don't have the fund to hire those people, usually you have to do those part. And the third part is once you have the team or you get the skill set, is you basically need do the video idea research. And once you do the video idea research, you can feed it to the team and they make the video and they upload it on the platform. And it's a simple 3-step process, to be quite honest.
Wow.
Yeah. Now there's more detail, obviously. Like if I have to go in depth, how much you pay the people, and it really varies usually per videos. If I'm outsourcing it, I pay anywhere from $25 to maximum $55 per video.
To be created?
Yeah.
Wow. Hold on. You're spending between $25 and $55 to have a video created.
Exactly.
Y'all hear that? That's incredible. What a return on your investment.
Yeah. And the way, and obviously,
wow,
we just do that by hiring an overseas freelancer because
for sure
there's talented people in the state, to be quite honest.
Oh yeah,
and we pay them a lot lower prices than we'd pay someone in the state.
50. Okay, how much are you charging to have it done for you?
To like build the whole process. So we closed it out. We had a $60,000 package for us to be able to build this channel. And actually with that $60 package, usually most of our investors will get them to return back within a year. And then we'll do like a profit share with the channel. So
what's the split?
50-50.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we do most of the work, of course,
sure.
And it's usually still work from the investor end. And they do have the option as we do the split after 2 years to, if they want to manage the channel themselves, then they can take it themselves because it is their brand.
Right.
Based on the agreement. So we recently closed that.
Why?
I'm focused more on building my own channel. And the main reason that I started that offer is I wanted to have enough channel that people were able to put their own fund instead of my own fund into. And then I can actually own a portion of it. So most of our investors have negotiated a price with them to say, hey, I want to own 50% of the brand.
Got it.
And you don't have to do a single work. And I've even bought out some of the investors from the channel. So I give them a certain portion of money. We negotiate a price. And I'm like, hey, I'll buy the other 50% that you own.
Wow.
So now I own fully their channel. And I didn't use any of my capital to grow it.
Or create it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
Is that... Well, because you know the return. Yeah, that's
yeah.
That's crazy. Good for you, bro.
Thank you.
You have built something that I know a lot of people would love to do and be able to say that they've done. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want your company to be?
So right now I'm on a mission of building a portfolio channel,
Okay.
which is the first goal. I want to get it to $1 million a month in revenue with YouTube.
Got it?
So I do see myself in 5 years being able to generate like the 8-figure mark, and which is a very rare number. What a lot of people don't realize is only 1% of YouTubers are even monetized. Now, we do see the big YouTubers, but that's only the 1% that we're seeing because that's what YouTube is feeding us.
Really? Only 1% is monetized?
Exactly. Most people that start a YouTube channel are doomed to fail or not even get monetized at all.
Crazy.
So the 8-figure mark is obviously a very small percentage of people that are actually doing that, even in YouTubers. Even like Jake Tran, for example, I know his channels and I can see how much he make with his channel. He's not even doing that with just that one channel. So
Right.
it's very hard to do with one